So you're finally nearing the end of your degree, and it's time to find a suitable topic for your dissertation or thesis. Perhaps you're just starting out on your pre-proposal and you need to find a suitable area of research. Either way, if you're listening to this lesson, you're obviously asking yourself, how on earth should I go about finding a suitable research topic? In this lesson, I want you to know the requirements for our proposal and proposal presentation, know how to identify 6 sources of ideas for developing a topic area, explain 3 approaches for how to identify your potential research topics, and narrow those down so that you can identify a suitable topic for a master's thesis or a dissertation related to career and technical education. I will share with you a 6-step process that you can follow to help you arrive at a high-quality research topic. We're going to start with just knowing our requirements, reviewing previous theses, dissertations, reviewing literature, identifying our topics, narrowing them down, and then making a decision. It may sound horribly obvious, but it's an extremely common mistake. Students skip past the fundamentals straight to the ideation phase of their thesis or dissertation topic, and then they pay dearly for it. So start by looking at the instructions you've been given regarding what our department expects for a thesis or dissertation and the expectations of our School for Graduate Studies based on our USG publication guide. So for example, our department provides specific requirements for a thesis in our master's degree program guide or for our dissertation in the doctoral program guide. The commonalities of your thesis or dissertation proposal are the following. You'll have a title page, a table of contents, and then chapter 1 ranging anywhere from 3 to 5 pages. We sometimes see 7, 8, 9, 10, just depends on the depth of the information. Chapter 2 usually is 10 to 20 pages, and chapter 3 is somewhere between 5 and 10 pages long. It's not uncommon to see a 30 to 35 page proposal for a thesis or dissertation. For your proposal presentation, we have you prepare slides for a 15 to 20 minute presentation that would be delivered not only to your committee and to your committee members, but it can be open to other graduate students and faculty to come listen to your research, and honestly to let other students learn about the process and see how it's done. Your proposal presentation, it typically has you do an introduction of 2 to 4 slides, a literature review of 3 to 5 slides, and then methodology of 2 to 5 slides. So let's talk about how you can find your topic ideas. First, you can look at past dissertations from our department. Ideally, more recent ones, as university requirements for formatting and APA style have changed over time. These are usually available in the university's online library by searching the Digital Commons repository. Past dissertations and master's theses will act as a helpful model for all kinds of things, from what content's included in chapter 1 to what's a good literature review, through what kinds of research methods can you use and how to leverage them to support your research objectives or questions and to address your research problem statement. When you look at these theses and dissertations and you peruse past these documents, ask yourself the following questions. What kinds of topics did these dissertations and theses cover, and how did they turn the topic into questions or a research problem statement? How broad or narrow were the topics? How original were the topics? Were they truly groundbreaking or just localized twist on a well-established theory? How well justified were the topics? Did they seem important or just nice to know? How much literature did they draw on as a theoretical base? Was the literature more academic or applied in nature? What kinds of research methods did they use, and what data did they draw on? How did they analyze that data and bring it into the discussion of the academic literature? Which of the dissertations or theses are the most readable to you? Why? How were they presented? And can you see why these dissertations or theses were successful? Can you relate to what they've been done and what's been given back to the university's instructions and guides? Now that you know that you understand our department-specific requirements for your dissertation or thesis, you can start the ideation process, and this is done just by reviewing a lot of current literature and looking for opportunities to add something original to our academic conversation. Sources for ideas for broad topics include textbooks, professional journals, dissertations, theses, theories, your current employment, and existing databases. Textbooks are useful sources because they point out gaps in research, controversy, concerns with research methods or data analysis procedures, and they might help you think about something new that could be added to the existing knowledge about your topic. You can also create queries for the academic journals relevant to your discipline or topic area. Journals that might interest you are the Journal of Career and Technical Education, the Journal of Extension, the Journal of Agriculture Education, the Journal of Human Sciences and Extension, the Journal of Family and Consumer Sciences Education, and the Journal of Applied Communications, and more. You pay attention to the purposes, research questions, or the hypotheses that are stated in these articles. Consider the methods used to examine the research questions or to test the hypotheses, including participants, instrumentation, data collection, and data analysis the researchers used, and of course the findings. Consider the reliability and the validity issues of the studies you review. You should also pay particular attention to the discussion sections. In their discussions, researchers often describe the implications of their research for theory and practice, discuss limitations of their studies, and suggest possibilities for future research. Such an examination of the specifics of the empirical research will assist you in developing and refining your own thesis or dissertation proposal. And at the end of every journal article, you'll find a reference list. Scan this reference list for more relevant articles and read those. Then repeat that process, knowing as snowballing, until you build up a base of maybe 20 to 30 quality articles per area of interest. Then you can identify possible databases by subject area, such as agriculture, education, or communication. And you can search those databases for additional articles about your topic. And if you're unfamiliar with conducting such searches, consult our department's research librarian, Pamela Martin. Some electronic databases provide the full text of research articles, others provide abstracts only. If an abstract interests you, you can obtain a copy of the full article and then carefully read it through. The development and testing of a theory is really important work, especially in dissertations, and it can make an important contribution to our fields. You should not limit yourself to theories within our own disciplines. Many professionals study the same problem educators do, including anthropologists, psychologists, sociologists, business executives, and others. And from these theories, provide new ways of you examining your topics in your discipline. I study local food marketing. I focus heavily on the acceptance of SNAP, formerly known as food stamps, for farmers markets, farm stands, community-supported agriculture, and other farm businesses. I have connected with researchers in anthropology, sociology, dietetics, nutrition, and extension regarding this topic, and I have discovered change of behavior theories, the use of self-efficacy, social cognitive theory, theory of planned behavior, theory of reason action, social marketing, social media marketing, all as theories or conceptual frameworks that are used to study this topic. It's not just within agricultural communications or extension education. And from knowing how those disciplines have studied the topic and have used the theories, I've been able to build stronger studies and to be able to include literature that's more encompassing and holistic look at the picture than if I just stuck with my discipline. Some dissertations are grounded by theory and others are not. You look for reported research, surveys, textbooks, research journals, dissertations that are grounded in a solid theoretical framework or a conceptual framework. Such works make a substantial contribution to the knowledge base. And an excellent way to justify your proposed research to your thesis or doctoral committee is to show that your research will either test certain aspects of an important theory or its foundation lies within a specific theory. Thus, we do suggest that you consider whether your research could be guided by a particular theory and how you can create an empirical way of testing that theory or using it to study your research problem. In journal articles, dissertations, and theses, you're going to find a section labeled further research or recommendations for future research. Generally, researchers clearly outline where they feel further research is needed, which presents you with a list of potential research opportunities. Your second option is to consider whether theory is already well established and relevant within a local or industry specific context. And then the upside to this approach is that you can potentially find a topic that is closer to home and more relevant and interesting to you, while still being able to draw on some well-established bodies of theory. And then the third option is just to engage in the free-form brainstorming or mind mapping session. And this uses your newfound knowledge of a theory to formulate potential research ideas. So you reword your list of topics or issues into a list of questions. You might find at this stage that one research topic throws up 3 different questions, which then become subtopics and even new separate topics in their own right. And in so doing this, the list grows. Let it. Don't hold back or try to start evaluating your ideas yet. Just let them flow onto paper or into a Google Doc or Word doc. And once you've got a few topics and questions on paper, check your literature again to see whether any of these have been covered by existing research. And since you've produced these from scratch, there's a possibility that your original literature search didn't cover them. So it's important to revisit this phase and ensure that you're familiar with the relevant literature for each idea. And this really helps take it from doing like a broad review of all the literature and topics to then really identifying some potential topics. After you've identified a few topics, you're going to take your list and narrow it down to the top 5 that interest you the most. Now, with a cool head and your best analytical mind engaged, you're going to go systematically through each option and just evaluate them against the following 6 criteria. First is interest. Personal interest is your key evaluation criterion at this stage. Writing a thesis or dissertation is hard work, so try to find a topic for which you have substantial curiosity and perhaps even more passion to sustain you through the process. Significance. A significant topic has the potential to do at least one of the following: contribute to the development of a new theory, test an existing theory, uncover new facts or principles, challenge existing truths or assumptions, suggest relationships between phenomena, provide new insights into phenomena, suggest new interpretations of known facts, or to alter other people's perceptions about phenomena, and to extend research methodology or statistical procedure. Available data. The ability to collect data needed for your study is your third consideration. Access to data is so important that you might even consider identifying your research participants first, then seek out to select a topic. You need to be certain that the data for your thesis or dissertation will be available and accessible when you come to the collection phase. The timing of your data collection is just as important as the topic itself in the calculation of its researchability. And if your sample or population will disappear in 6 months or a year, or if it's personnel who granted you access change, resulting in new personnel not willing to honor their predecessor's offer of entry and acceptance into the data, you might have to drop their topic. And these reversals do happen. I've seen it in more than one honors thesis project and one master's thesis. And then you have to go back to the drawing board and think about how you can study your research problem in a different way. Knowledge and skills. Selecting a topic consistent with your knowledge and skills is also important. First, you're going to save time because you will be dealing with a familiar topic. Second, you can talk knowledgeably about that topic. In addition, selecting a topic that matches your skills is also important. If you want to conduct focus groups and you've never learned how to conduct a focus group, you're going to want somebody on your committee who is a qualitative researcher with a great deal of experience and focus group methodology. Manageability. Most doctoral students and master's students begin with a topic that's too broad. And by narrowing your topic, you're going to make the purpose of your research clear to yourself and to others. Sufficiently narrowing your topic is going to help you organize your literature review and produce a specific problem statement with an accompanying theoretical framework. So part of this narrowing process is writing meaningful research questions, which we learn how to do in the lesson about writing chapter 1. Lastly, funding. Most thesis and dissertation research is not funded, so you might need to pay for it yourself or work with your committee to seek out funding. I have funded projects relevant to my areas of extension, local food marketing, and agricultural communications. I've also encouraged students to apply for competitive grants with the help of our faculty or our college grant writer. You want to choose one topic that you feel most confident about after considering both of your opinions and the feedback from others, such as your committee chair, your committee members, or myself as I'm working with you in writing your pre-proposal and your proposal. So once you've decided, don't doubt your judgment, don't shift. Don't be tempted by the ones that you left behind. You've planned and thought things through. You check the feasibility, and now you can start on the writing process because you've identified a solid topic that has a need with a research problem that you can explore in a realistic time period. Trust your own decision-making process and stick with it now. It's time to get started on your proposal for your thesis or dissertation. Thanks for joining me, and if you have any questions or comments, contact me through Canvas inbox.